All right, and now here it comes, the moment that everybody has been waiting for, which is the Ocean Awards honorees. To many in this room, our first honoree needs no introduction. Dr. Nancy Knowlton is the Sant Chair of Marine Sciences at the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History. She was on the faculty of Yale and the Scripps Institute of Oceanography, where she founded the Center for Marine Biodiversity and Conservation. She's an Aldo Leopold Leadership Fellow, a winner of the Peter Benchley Prize and the Heinz Award. She's a member of the American Academy of Arts and Science and the U.S. National Academy of Sciences. She helps direct the Center of Marine Life Coral Research Program. She served on the board of the American Association for the Advancement of Science and the Coral Reef Alliance. That's not it. She's the author of the National Geographic book, Citizens of the Sea. And, as all of us know, she is an optimist, starting the Twitter campaign, #OceanOptimism. She believes that the challenges facing our ocean and planet are ours to overcome, and rather than allowing us to wring our hands and wonder what we can do, Nancy always urges us to take action, speak up, and make a difference. So actually, there's only really one thing to say, and that is, what the heck took us so long to recognize her? So it is my great honor to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Nancy Knowlton. Nancy, please join us.
Oh my, or I think I grew up actually in Illinois, a long way from the ocean. So I think that's where I must have picked up the expression, holy moly. That's how I sort of feel right now. I really am speechless. I have no words to express how grateful I am to the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation for this amazing honor. It was completely out of the blue. I was totally unexpecting it, and thank you so much. It's really wonderful. In fact, I have to say, it's giving me a mild case of imposter syndrome, but thanks to Kim McIntyre, who gave me this crown, I now feel like I totally own it. So this is sort of an Oscar-like, you get 3 minutes to say thank you. But I think it's really important to say thank you because it gives a sense of where the trajectory that one has across the course of your career. I mean, it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. I think my husband, who received this award actually in 2015, yay, Jeremy, said it's kind of weird to get a Lifetime Achievement Award because, I turned 70 actually last week, but still I've got a few more years, I hope. And because I have been doing this for a while, there are many, many people and institutions to thank, way more than I can thank. In fact, not only did I turn 70, but I was looking at my NAUI dive card. It's dated 1972. Now, there are a few people who have an older card than that, but not too many. And it's been exactly 45 years, almost to the day, that I made my first dive on the north coast of Jamaica. So this has been a really long journey, and so many people and organizations to thank. I'd like to start with my scientific mentors and colleagues and students, from whom I learned so much about the ocean and coral reefs and DNA. In fact, some of my DNA tutors are here in the room with me today. And my success as a scientist, I think, has been really critical because now, as I increasingly enter the public sphere and say what I think about issues facing society, I think the scientific achievements give me credibility, and it's nice to be able to say that, I think this, and I'm not some kind of crackpot, and that science background, that science credibility is really important in everything I do. I'd also like to thank the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, where I spent 9 years. They supported, and they have a table here. Margaret Lyman is here, a number of the students. They supported the crazy idea that you could have a center for solving ocean problems. And not only that, but that the faculty can include not only marine scientists, but also economists and journalists and even improv artists at a time long before this was normal. And that's how the Center for Marine Biodiversity and Conservation was founded, thanks to their support. And the students from that program are making a difference around the world, and many of them are actually here in this room. Too many to name, except for I will mention Shannon Yee, because she, every year, makes this event happen. Shannon, go Shannon. I don't know where you are, I can't see, but I'm blinded. And I'd also, of course, really like to thank the Smithsonian, because I've worked on and off with the Smithsonian since 1984. I started off at the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute in Panama, and since 2007 was at the Natural History Museum. And I think the mission of the Smithsonian, which is the increase and diffusion of knowledge, is something that has really been incredibly helpful to me to do the things that I care about. And they gave me the freedom to start research projects that took sometimes almost a decade to come to fruition. That's something that's hard to do in this era of 3-year grants. Incredibly important. And they also allowed me to write the book Citizens of the Sea, and even to reimagine the Ocean Portal website. We have Ocean Portal people here in the audience. The Ocean Portal, that was pretty amazing, because you have to remember that when I was a grad student, there wasn't even an internet, so they gave me the responsibility to think about running a website, so that was really wonderful. And in particular, I'd like to thank Roger and Vicki Sant, who supported my chair at the Natural History Museum. And they were honorees, of course, in 2017. And they not only paid the bills, which was very appreciated, but they also embraced another crazy idea of mine, which was that you could do more for the environment by talking about what was working than simply focusing on the doom and gloom, which ultimately led to the Earth Optimism Summit of 2017, where 250 people spent 2.5 days talking about what was working, why, and how to scale it up. And there wasn't a snarky comment in the entire extended weekend, which I thought was pretty amazing and very inspiring. Last but not least, I would like to thank the love of my life, Jeremy Jackson, honoree in 2015, as I mentioned, and also my daughter, who is cheering me on from Marblehead, Massachusetts. They both put up with quite a lot. I'll leave it at that. And so again, thank you for coming and celebrating with me. A special shout out to all the oceanistas in the room. And I encourage all of you, I am totally inspired by this crown. I have to give this one back to Kim, but I encourage all of you to create a crown for next year. And guys, you can wear a crown too. It doesn't have to be just a woman thing. But it's a little heavy, but it's cool. So I'd like to end with a few requests. The first is that I encourage all of you, I know the news sometimes gets really depressing. It's all this bad news about things going extinct and the ocean heating up and plastic everywhere. And there's no denying the reality of that news, but I encourage you all to look beyond the obituaries and to, when you notice something that's positive, celebrate it. You know, there's that expression, if you see something, say something. Well, it doesn't just apply to packages that are suspicious in the metro. It also applies to all the work being done by these incredible heroes around the planet, including those that work for the National Marine Sanctuaries, I might add. And they could use your voice to amplify what they're doing, and it also, by telling their stories, to inspire others to take up their own challenges and sources of action to make the ocean a healthier place. I personally make it a policy to never get out of bed until I've read something positive. Sometimes it takes me longer than others. But for those of you who are having trouble getting beyond the obituaries, I encourage you to follow me at @CCitizens. I try to post something positive every day. I might miss today, but basically every day. Or just look for #OceanOptimism or #EarthOptimism. There are amazing stories, scores of stories every single day that are posted by all sorts of people around the world, and they're really inspirational. And finally, if you want a real overdose of optimism, I encourage you all to come to the next Earth Optimism Summit, which is in April 2020. It's the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, but I don't need to tell this audience that planet Earth really should be called Planet Ocean. Thank you very much.